Hi everybody, welcome to the channel today. For any new listeners to my channel, if you could obviously subscribe to the channel and give us a like, it would be appreciated. But what I'm going to do today is just have a quick chat about the debacle that's going on in Parliament to do with the winter fuel allowance. And obviously, this is something that's been trotting along in the media for a few weeks. And let's be frank, there's not one person who can realistically condone what the Labour Party are planning on doing. But obviously, I've been around for long enough. I'm in my mid-40s. I've seen a lot of stupid things that politicians have done. Maybe at first they've done it for the right things, but it's ended up being the wrong thing to actually do. I remember when, obviously the poll tax. I remember, a few years ago when the Conservatives wanted to make fundamental changes to the benefit system. General public were in absolute uproar, and obviously, the House of Lords ended up getting dragged into it. So one thing I've learned over the years, there's always a way around it. Okay, so instead of talking about, how stupid it is, why haven't they actually thought more carefully about doing this? There's been enough politicians, especially conservative politicians lately, that have gone on to different media outlets and said, this is something that always gets brought to us. They always talk about let's stop the winter fuel allowance, but anybody in their right mind, a governing party just aren't going to do it. Now, whether this is just a bit of naivety, a bit of stupidity, they haven't thought about it, the repercussions that could come their way. Don't really think it's a case of they just don't care. Well, I like to believe it's not a case of they don't care because, most older people I know, they do vote Conservative. I do live in a very safe Conservative seat. Down here on the South Coast, it's as safe as houses, Labour and Liberal Democrat, I can't see them winning this seat for an awful long time. So over the last few days, I've thought about it after listening to like Talk TV, LBC, the BBC, all these different outlets, what they've had to say about it. And I spoke to a few people and thought, right, how can they get around this? How can they sort this mess out and get out of this mess and hold a bit of face with the general public? And I only managed to come up with two ways. One way, it's been publicised quite a lot, where basically what you do is make the winter fuel allowance a taxable benefit. And anybody that pays 40p tax, so they're going to be bringing in, £50,000 a year, then has to pay tax on it. That's one solution. Whether they would bring in much revenue, because to be honest, the 40p tax, a lot of people that specialise in finance, much smarter people than me, will say 40p tax doesn't really bring in much money. So are they actually going to bring in much tax revenue from that way? The other way, I thought, which is a much fairer way, because at the moment, if you get pension credits, okay, which I think is at about £13,000, okay, then obviously you get the winter fuel allowance. I thought, well, what if they changed that floor limit and pushed it up? Be nice and easy to do, wouldn't take a lot of time, and potentially save them a lot of aggro. So if you put it up, because minimum wage, if you're working a 40-hour week, you should be earning roughly, I think it's around about £19,500 a year, based on what minimum wage is at the moment. So if they put it up to that for a single person, and if you had two people living in the house, so two retired people, And, you know, this is where it can be put up for argument. So if you put it up for two people, and let's say, for instance, you put it at 30, maybe £35,000 a year, I don't think people would actually argue about that, because then you're still going to get a lot of people that are going to end up getting going to get the winter fuel allowance, and everybody's happy. You know, it's happy days. Who's going to complain about that? You know, I know, you know, my parents, you know, both my parents are retired and been retired for a long time. They'd easily get it. Don't think at the moment this winter either one of them will be getting a winter fuel allowance. They're not rich. They're far from rich. You know, they're comfortable. You know, they never come to me moaning for any money. To be honest, I've gone to them moaning about asking them to lend me some money in the past. And they've always helped me out, but they've never come to me, and I don't expect them to come to me this winter either. So, thinking about it realistically, I think the easiest way for the Labour Party to actually save face value is actually to increase the floor limit of what people can actually get at. And if they do that, I think it would fly straight through the Commons. It'll make their life a lot easier. People will stop thinking badly of them. You know, Rachel Reeves lose her nickname of obviously good old Rachel Thieves, and they can all get on doing their jobs properly as they should be. Let me know what you think. If you've got a better idea, leave me a message in the comments below. Let me know what you think of my general idea. If you think it's absolutely stupid, let me know. You know, but for now, thanks for listening, and we'll speak to you again a bit later, okay? Cheers for now, but bye.